Everybody, I respect everybody's choices. My choice is to stay true to myself and my religion.
I think you find the Flyers $1 million for this. I'm not kidding. Figure this out and stop offending people on nights where it's not about that. It's supposed to be about inclusivity.
And Ivan Provorov can get on a plane any day he wants and go back to a place where he feels more comfortable. He's now been in Philadelphia for many years. If this is that much of a problem for him to maybe assimilate into his group of teammates and in the community and here in this country, that's okay. Listen, you can feel any way you want. But the beauty is, if it bothers you that much, there's always a chance to leave.
Christian hockey player Ivan Provorov refused to wear an LGBT warm-up jersey for the Pride Night Tuesday event at the stadium, and it looks like media figures are freaking out. We're gonna watch the full clip and react. Show starts now.
It's the Dream Rare Podcast. Welcome to the show. The way to get the news at the desk or on the road. Let's go. God is great and success in our control. The world is crazy, but we get better from obstacles. Yeah.
What's going on, folks? I'm going to keep this video pretty brief, but I thought it was an interesting story. So Ivan Provorov, he's an ice hockey defenseman and alternate captain of the Philadelphia Flyers, declined to wear the team's LGBT warm-up jersey on Pride Night Tuesday following a a home win over the Ducks. And this was his response. He didn't want to wear some sort of LGBT rainbow warm-up jersey. He said this.
Everybody, I respect everybody's choices. My choice is to stay true to myself and my religion. That's all I'm going to say. Like I said, that's all I'm going to comment on that. If you have any hockey questions, I would answer those.
Can you just clarify what can you clarify your religion?
Russian Orthodox.
So with the game tonight, Ivan, obviously Kevin Hayes had a hat trick, and Rasmus's first goal of the season. Can you walk us through the...
So pretty simple. He's just like, listen, I respect everybody and their choices, but this is mine. I'm trying to stay true to myself and my religion. He didn't want to wear some sort of LGBT, rainbow flag sort of thing. I feel like when the L's, the G's, the B's, and the T's used to start doing their thing, it's like, hey, do you want to go to Pride Month? Versus like, you need to wear this on your jersey or else you hate everybody. So it's like, okay. This is a response from Sid Cicero, according to Huey Media. I saw him post this, and he said this was some sort of Canadian guy on television freaking out, saying he should be fined $1 million. And I mean, this guy is furious. Let's take a watch.
The theme from the National Hockey League is hockey is for everyone, okay? The theme is not hockey is for everyone, ... unless you don't believe in gay rights, then do whatever you want. I think you find the Flyers $1 million for this. I'm not kidding. Figure this out and stop offending people on nights where it's not about that. It's supposed to be about inclusivity. I just think the NHL has to do something here. This is not good enough. This is not good enough. Hockey is for everyone, ... unless you don't agree with gay rights is not the phrasing of this. You're either in this or you're not. And one last point. Nothing scares me more than any human being who says, I'm not doing this because of my religious beliefs. Because when you looked in people's lives, you normally say that publicly, you throw up at what you saw. All right? Don't tell me, don't feed me the religious beliefs line. And all of a sudden the NHL is going to back off this. The National Hockey League today needs to find that organization $1 million and reevaluate how they support gay rights.
Dude, if you want to personally in your personal sexual life blast some buttholes, that's on you, dude. Like, everybody doesn't have to. If you're that upset, it's okay, dude. Like, whatever you want to do, you respect others, you want to go for some butts. Like, everybody doesn't have to wear a rainbow flag on their jersey. I mean, the social justice activism's gotten weird over the last few months. Like, you got to wear these like Black Lives Matter phrases, but we all know that Black Lives Matter, yeah, the phrase, it sounds nice, Black Lives Matter, but it's an organization that's a left-wing organization that has a totally skewed ideology that anybody with half a brain knows is not only not helping black people, black families, it's just not really helping the country at all, and it's not a good organization. But you got to wear it or else you must hate everybody, right? You must be a racist. Or if you don't want to blast buttholes as hard as that guy, or you don't want to wear a rainbow flag. I mean, me personally, I have friends that, identify as that and they do their thing. It's not really my decision of what they do in their personal life. I don't really pry into that much. I'm not a therapist, etc. But as far as like, I don't want to wear rainbow clothes. You know, it's like it's become far more than just a small thing. So it's, you know, it's your right, especially as a religious man, to be like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to wear that. But apparently he should get fined $1 million by, I don't know what that guy's deal is. Here's some other guy, and I'll explain who it is after. Basically telling him to go back to Russia where he feels more comfortable. And keep in mind, Provorov, apparently he was born in Yaroslavl, Russia, and played hockey there, but he moved to Pennsylvania at the age of 13. So he's been in America probably longer than he was in Russia, but apparently he should just move back. If he doesn't want to be gayer, if you don't want to paint yourself in rainbow and join the new liberal gay world order of the West, you might as well go back to Russia where you feel assimilate to our homosexual lifestyle, or else get out of here. Yeah, Russian is the message here.
And Ivan Provorov can get on a plane any day he wants and go back to a place where he feels more comfortable, take less money, and get on with his life that way, if it's that problematic for him. And he's been in North America for a long time. He played in the Western Hockey League. He's now been in Philadelphia for many years. If this is that much of a problem for him to maybe assimilate into his group of teammates and in the community and here in this country, that's okay. Listen, you can feel any way you want. But the beauty is, if it bothers you that much, there's always a chance to leave, go back where you feel more comfortable. I understand there's a conflict of sorts going on over there. Maybe get involved. So,
Maybe get involved. Is he suggesting that the hockey player join the Russian army because he doesn't want to wear a rainbow flag on his shirt? That apparently, according to Clay Travis, was E.J. Hradic of an NHL Network reporter telling him to basically join the Russian army. I guess I'll just say this. Social justice activism in the NFL, the NHL, it's gotten like so annoying, you know, and so fake and so left wing. It's just annoying. Like I remember the NHL Twitter was like trans sports or human sport, and it's like, dude, if trans people want to play a hockey game somewhere, I'm not even gonna know. Who cares? Like I don't care. I'm not trying to stop them from playing hockey, but as far as who they're playing with and what, you know, like gender, I guess they want to just tear down the walls of gender and just have anyone play hockey with anyone. Well, then it's a co-ed league, you know, then you could play co-ed, and at the competitive levels, it's going to be mostly biological males because that's just how it goes. But it's like, I don't care on my personal front. Like, it's just like the NHL has to tell me that like trans hockey games are the most, like, that's what it's become. Okay. You know, I like the NFL. Black Lives Matter written on end zones and on people's helmets, and they have these stupid like Marxist phrases like equity. Meanwhile, the entire team isn't doing equity. I mean, does Goran Dragic, a lot of people don't even know who that is. Is he getting paid as much as LeBron James? Is you know, Brittany Griner getting paid as much as Carmelo Anthony? Or, you know, it's like, there is no equity in the NBA. It's all merit-based, just like American society should be. So they're wearing these stupid Marxist left-wing phrases, pretending like it's racial activism. None of them have equity in the NBA. The WNBA is subsidized, apparently, by the NBA League. They all get paid different amounts based on their talent. Yeah, let's just push this. So if you don't want to wear the shirt, you must be racist. If you don't want to wear a rainbow flag, you must hate homosexuals, and you should go back to Russia and fight the war. And in some ways, I mean, that guy, I'm not saying it's nice to say, but he has a point, because you have to understand, America seems to always wage war on countries that aren't completely gay or feminized. And I mean, you can make your own decision. I'm just noticing something. Now Ukraine is turning into a whole different country. They used to be more Christian. Now they're passing LGBTQ plus hate speech bans for a big step of equality. Yay! That beanie... hate speech in Ukraine's going to be banned. You can't not hate speech. And then in Russia, they're going the opposite direction. They're not only banning LGBT propaganda among children, which they started out doing. Now they're just going and saying, you know what? Whatever, the West is attacking us. They hate us anyway. Let's ban all LGBT propaganda among all ages. So you have Ukraine, who's working on behalf of the liberal gay world order, which is like America and our allies. And then you have Russia that has like men who aren't completely pathetic, women who aren't completely stupid. And, you know, it's cold there. I don't want to move there. I'm not Russian and I've never been there, but it's like a society that's not completely pathetic, watered down, and like, you know, turning genders. It's like, can they exist? Are they? No. Oh no, we got to go fight a war against them. Oh no, they started the war. Well, what's up with those videos of Lindsey Graham in 2016 flying to Ukraine, telling him he's going to fund them on the border and saying fight? Yeah, but that America totally didn't egg on that war, even though there's videos of America basically waging war. Like that would be like China flying to Mexico and waging war on us in 2016, and then it's like, oh, we didn't do that, whatever. But this guy is just, I mean, it's sad that he's the only person in the NHL to do this. And same with all of the fake propaganda going on in the NFL. They've pushed it super, super far. A lot of people, for religious reasons, for political reasons, they don't agree. And you don't really have to agree. I mean, I stand with this guy. It's sad that he's the only one. And you know, the NHL, I don't know who runs their social media. I don't know who's responsible for their equity and like what they're doing, but it's kind of like a joke. Like we're being bamboozled at every sense. Every aspect of society is just shoving it down our throat, shoving it. We can't even watch an NFL game. Can't even watch an NHL game. Can't even do this. Can't even do that. Like everywhere we got to do, like maybe I don't want to agree with that. Like maybe that's not my thing. Maybe I want to dress and wear a black shirt and not a rainbow shirt. Maybe I'm not trying to be RuPaul. Maybe you can do that. But in my religion, we have certain rules and thoughts. And, you know, although everybody sins and has flaws, we consider certain lifestyles not what we want. And, you know, in many ways, I'm not saying that people can't be unique and different and do their own thing, but you have to understand certain things meant something for a certain reason. If you want to be different, if you feel unique, if you feel like an anomaly, that's on you. But as far as marriage, now that I get older, I understand if you look up old definitions, marriage was between a man and a woman. I'm not being hateful. That's not hate speech. That's just the original definition. It wasn't just like go hang out at a nightclub and like, it was like, that's what it is. Why? There's biological reasons. A man and a woman have two different parts and they put them together and they create a baby. That's why we're even here. Every gay person in the world is created because a man and a woman at some point had sex. That's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? Glenn Greenwald is here because a man and a woman had sex. Richard Simmons is here because a man and a woman had sex. That's how you procreate life naturally for the last thousands of years. So the reason that marriage was a thing was because you procreate, you make new kids, and then you create a family unit that is considered very ideal to a lot of religions and cultures. That doesn't mean if you do something else that you're doing something else, but to call it that word, okay, now marriage doesn't mean anything. Okay, sure. You can go get scammed by the government too and lose half your money to your ex-husband or wife or whatever. Okay, then what about gender? Like, does gender mean anything? I'm not hateful. If you feel unique or different, that's for you to decide. I don't know who you are. I'm not going to judge you if that's what you choose to do and you're not totally annoying about it. However, you know, there is certain aspects to gender that are important to understand the distinctions to some extent, and the whole world can't just like forget that unless we want to just destroy women's sports, which I'm fine about because barely anybody watches them anyway. Some women's sports are fun, UFC, gymnastics, etc. But like for the most part, like, okay, so you want transgender women to play women's sports, but they're okay, then that league's not going to exist anymore. It's going to be dominated by biologically born men. That's just like basic physics and math. Okay, that's what you want to do. I don't care, and like, okay, go destroy those leagues and just yell at everybody and be annoying. But there's a reason that certain things exist. You can try to push the boundaries if you want, you know, I guess, but everybody doesn't have to agree with it. Okay. That's just my point. It's like, if I like certain things sexually, it's not really everyone else's business. And if I do make my sexual business public, everybody doesn't have to agree with it. And everybody doesn't have to wear the clothing I want them to wear and the symbols I want them to wear. You know, Christians don't have to agree with like the LGBTQ plus movement that's gone completely out of whack. And all the Christian pastors said the slippery slope was going to happen. And it really did. I mean, you know, I didn't even think it was going to happen early on. When I was in college, I didn't care. It's like, who cares who gets married? I'm not even old enough to know what the word marriage really means. I don't understand anything. But now I'm like, oh, damn, the people that said that this was going to get out of control, they were actually really right. Like, so quickly that turned into that, to transitioning kids, to not being able to speak about it. Like, if you're going to do something that has never been done in modern history, like to this extent, and you're doing it more and more and more, pushing it everywhere, the least you could do is allow for a discussion against it. I understand some people are hateful. I understand some people are mean and rude about it, and they're blunt about it. But to infringe on the First Amendment now in multiple categories just because you hate certain perspectives, it's a little much. So I don't want to waste too much of your time. God bless you. Thanks for joining. I'm going to keep this pretty brief. That's the story. I don't have any hate in my heart. Everybody is flawed. Everybody has sins. I'm not trying to overly judge people, but that's the world we live in. The American liberal, I call it the liberal gay world order, because I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just being honest. It's like, what does America and its allies do? They call it the liberal world order. They always say that. This liberal world order, liberal world order. It's not a conspiracy theory. Pompeo said it, Zionist right-winger, the left wing says it. What is our foreign policy doing? I'm trying to like find a certain, I'm trying to find like a certain thing that makes sense. Like, we just got out of a 20-year endless war in Afghanistan, but now we can't disagree with doing the same thing in Ukraine. Okay, but like what? Okay, Russia. It seems to me, I'm just tying it together, like any country that doesn't want to be gayer than San Francisco is under attack. Like that I just see it that way. It's like, oh, they're not gay. They don't have like feminism taking over their whole society. Oh, America's going to spontaneously just get in an argument with them and fight them. And unless they have enough oil money like Saudi Arabia and Qatar to not get it. Like, it's basically if you're broke. Like you could be rich Arabs, but if you're broke Arabs, America's coming with Halliburton, BlackRock, and LGBT flags. But if if you got enough money to fend for yourself, then we'll leave you alone for the next 20 years and do UFC fights there. I just noticed that pattern, and it's like, I'm going to end on this note. True diversity means you want to have some countries that are not exactly like San Francisco and New York City, which are just like declining hellhole cities. Let Russia be Russia. Let Christians be Christians. Let Muslims be Muslims. Let Jews be Jews. Let those people be those people, but everybody doesn't have to agree with it. And at a certain point, I think true diversity is not making the whole world into like a dump, like, oh, this is true diversity. I don't care if you're black, gay, trans, like who wants to live in San Francisco right now? Like it's a crap hole because all their priorities are screwed up. They're so busy making everybody feel good that nobody feels good. They're not good at managing a society. They want to completely turn Europe into a dump also and America into a dump. Is that really diversity? If Europe has no culture, has no identity, isn't it what it was? And it just turns into a mishmash of like a rundown ghetto with graffiti everywhere. Like, Paris, France, there's graffiti everywhere. Like, that's diversity everywhere being a rundown hellhole? Like, no, let Europe be Europe. Let Russia be Russia. Let Ukraine be Ukraine. Although I would say Ukraine's turning into like San Francisco, but let them do that if that's what they want to do and they vote for that. Well, they're not really voting because the elections are now, they ban all the other political parties. So how could Zelensky possibly lose? He wears the same shirt every day. Is he Charlie Brown? Does he have like 15 of the same shirt, or is he wearing the same dirty shirt? Somebody should ask him that in an interview. Just curious. Like, you wear the same shirt every day. Is it the same shirt, or do you have like a Charlie Brown closet? But, everybody should be allowed to do their thing, but true diversity is not forcing a Christian to wear a rainbow flag. That's not diversity. Diversity is 90% of the team wearing it because they're afraid of losing their contract, and one brave Christian saying, you know what, I don't want to wear that. I don't either. I'm not trying to be like a little puppet. I understand that they're paid. I understand that they have to follow certain things, but it's like at a certain point, this is how society shifts. I hope more people in the NBA, NFL, NHL stand up for themselves because they're being manipulated and used. And you have the right to be like, listen, that's not my politics. That's not my religion. That's not my worldview. I don't believe in this activism. And I'm going to end on this note just to make an easier analogy, like the BLM style activism. I don't think it's good for black people. I don't think it's good for Americans. I don't think it's good for anybody. I think BLM type activism is a complete like ticking time bomb for every race in this country, and it's garbage. And with the LGBT community, one reasonable person that I follow is Glenn Greenwald, who happens to be gay, and he's like, it's not about forcing it down people's throat all the time. Like, you're only going to turn people against gay people more. So it's like, it is like, do what you want, but like being this annoying and this forceful is not going to gain public, sympathy. God bless you guys. Thanks for watching. I'm keeping this under 20 minutes.